Meanwhile, in the state of Oklahoma, today is the scheduled day of execution for Edward Wayne Brady. And kids, all it took was just a string of cold-blooded murders, incontrovertible evidence, a confession, a jury of his peers, and 11 years of legal wrangling to get us to game day. I mean, what the heck is wrong with us? I mean, can somebody please tell me why this guy is still sucking air? How is this guy still alive?
He's expected. Let him through.
Dr. James Martin, here for the psychiatric evaluation of Edward Wayne Brady.
Are you currently in possession of any alcohol, tobacco, firearms, or narcotics?
No.
Please turn off your ignition, step from your vehicle with your identification in hand. Step over here, please.
Want to come through? Step through, leave your keys and phone in the password.
Welcome to the least happy place on earth. Warden Tom Moss.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for filling in on short notice.
No offense, but I'd rather not be here at all.
Yeah, you and everybody else. Look, why don't you just sign off and we'll be done.
Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Everyone deserves an impartial review.
Not everyone. Follow me.
Sorry to hear about Dr. Fisher. Did you know him?
I did, yes. He was, something of a mentor to me.
Yeah, well, I tell you this, his timing sucked. Every time this guy Brady's number comes up, something happens. Execution scheduled for 11 p.m. but That's not for public knowledge, so please don't convey that to anyone. We're gonna need your decision by 4 p.m. at the latest if we're gonna stay on schedule. If there's any problems, I'd rather know sooner than later.
If we're gonna do my job properly, we're gonna need some privacy.
No, that's not a problem. He's been taken from his cell. You'll be meeting him in a common area. Normally, that's where you allow lost contact with family, but he doesn't have any. From there, he'll be showered, taken to a holding cell in the death house not far from the execution chamber. That's where he'll be spending his last couple hours. I'm assuming you already reviewed the Fisher files?
Yes.
Then you already know he's a master manipulator, an absolute genius. And right now, his entire existence is focused on one thing, convincing you he's totally insane.
And therefore incapable of being executed under state law.
Yeah. You listen to him, by the time he's done with you, he'll have your head so twisted around you think you're the killer, not him.
So you think it's all an act?
Of course it is. Open up.
Well, for what it's worth, Fisher disagreed with you. He just wasn't sure whether the root of the problem was psychotic or psychogenic. Whether it stems from his brain losing its grip on reality or some mental or emotional stressor.
That's a problem with you shrinks. Too smart for your own damn good. Have a radio, please. Look, Brady knows what's coming. He's playing the system. And if you allow him to, he'll play you too.
Look, I get lied to all the time. Figuring out the truth behind the lie is what I get paid to do.
Take this. If you need anything, there's always somebody monitoring that channel.
Thanks. Morning. Let me introduce myself. I'm,
Dr. James Ansel Martin, valedictorian, University of Chicago, Bachelor of Science, Biochemistry, Salutatorian, Johns Hopkins Medical School, the residency in psychiatry. Currently the youngest full professor on staff at OU. It's not exactly Stanford, but then again, we are in Oklahoma, aren't we? Got Macro Award recipient, author of numerous articles, American Society of Psychiatry. Once engaged, never married, and father of none. We want to have a seat right there, have a little chat with me?
I'm gonna ask you some questions. I'm hoping you'll answer them. I'd like you to be as comfortable as you can.
Do you know what the first thing they will do to me is once I've been pronounced dead?
I'm afraid I don't.
Autopsy. It just seems odd, doesn't it? I mean, all that cutting and weighing of organs. I mean, certainly they'll know what the cause of death is. I mean, it just seems strange, right? And why bother?
I suppose to make sure the job is done.
That's just a little barbaric, don't you think?
I assume you know Dr. Fisher has passed away.
Come on now, he committed suicide. I know that because I made him do it.
Why would you do that?
Served my purpose. You're here, aren't you?
Why would you want me here instead of him?
I didn't like him.
And you like me?
Well, no, but I chose you because I need you. Do something for me. See, you're gonna write my story.
And why would I do that?
Because I want you to.
See?
Well, not sure you do, but you will. Soon.
How can you be so sure? Are you God?
Don't play with me, James. You continue to ask stupid questions and I'll end the session.
Well, that would be unfortunate for you because I'd have to make my determination based upon limited information.
And you think that scares me?
Well, it should. I mean, it would me, being so near to death.
Death doesn't scare me, James.
And why's that?
Because I can't die. See, James, I'm a demon.
Do you have a name?
Of course I have a name.
Would you like me to call you by it?
Depends, do I call you James?
I'd prefer Dr. Martin.
Of course you would.
It's my title. I worked very hard to achieve it. And it preserves the nature of our relationship.
We can do that, as long as you agree to acknowledge my honorifics well.
Which is?
Lord High Prince.
I won't be doing that.
Okie dokie. And since we're gonna be on a first name basis, I guess I'll allow you to use mine.
Edward?
No, it's merely the name of the host body. Shell which I inhabit. I no longer answer to it. The name my master gifted to me is in a Phoenician dialect that hasn't been spoken for 3,500 years, but I'll give you the nearest English equivalent, which would be Nefariamus.
Nefarius?
A closer translation would be he who is nefarious, suggesting possession of the trait full measure.
Yeah, Nefarius isn't a real name.
Says who, James? Cephas, meaning rock, or in Latin Petrus, wasn't a name until the carpenter gave it to that obnoxious fisherman. Not gonna name it till it is. Somebody uses it, it becomes a name.
You seem a bit defensive.
Names are important. They have power. They let everyone know who we are. Isn't that right? Jimmy.
Sorry if I offended you. That wasn't my intention.
Of course it was. There's a little malice between friends.
What's so funny?
I have a secret.
Something you'd like to share?
I don't think you're gonna like it.
Well, how will I know unless you tell me?
Are you sure you want to know?
I think it would be useful.
Okay, James. Before you leave here today, you will have committed 3 murders.
I don't think so.
Has nothing to do with your thoughts, Your wants, your yeses, or your nos. It simply is. It's a fact. It'll happen because I say so. Aren't you less curious, James, as to who you're gonna murder?
No, because I have no intention of killing anyone. I would, however, rather than discussing hypothetical murders that will never happen, like to discuss the actual murders that did occur. Murders that you were involved in.
You mean the ones I committed?
You were convicted of 6 murders. Were there more?
Of course there were.
How many more?
Innumerable. I've been at this a long time, James. My work predates your concept of history.
Well, let's limit our discussion to Edward Wayne Brady.
Fine, 11. 6 I was convicted of, 1 suspected of, and another 4 that they don't have the capacity to possibly figure out.
And how do you feel about that?
Another stupid question, James. What do you think? I'm ecstatic. Edward, not so much.
Why isn't Edward as happy as you are?
Because on occasion, I make him do things that he doesn't want to do.
Well, if Edward doesn't want to do them, why does he do them then?
Do you believe in demonic possession? The idea of a malevolent entity controlling a person's thoughts and actions, do you believe that?
No.
Well, you won't believe anything I'm about to tell you.
It's not important what I believe. What's important right now is what you believe.
Demons don't have beliefs, James. We have knowledge. We know.
Okay, when did you possess Edward?
Doesn't work that way. Can't just possess someone. We need a series of yeses.
So you're saying it's a process?
Of course it's a process.
How does it work?
It's complicated.
Try me. I'm smarter than you think.
You're smarter than I think. Okay, James. We offer up a series of temptations, gradually increasing in terms of duration and intensity, degree of moral inequity. Absence of baptism in this case allowed us to begin work long before the age of reason. At 3, age of 5, maybe a theft of a toy car can do a great deal. Then we move on to bigger and better things. At 8, grandmother's gift of a Ouija board gave us immediate access to his decision-making, so we began steering them without him ever calling into question exactly who was doing the steering. Enough yeses and few enough nos gave us increasing rights over the victim's physical and mental processes. Did that track, James?
It seems random, almost, unfocused.
Well, that's what we want you to think. We have a level of focus beyond your comprehension. As a matter of fact, everybody around him, friends, family, they didn't even notice the changes. It happened so incrementally. They just thought it was Eddie being Eddie. We knew exactly what we were doing, when, where, and how he was giving consent, and the exact moment that we achieved each new degree of control.
Degree?
Control of the host body comes in degrees. They're stages, each with its own name and characteristics.
And those are?
From top to bottom, extreme temptation, obsession, infestation, finally possession, subjugation.
And Edward Wayne Brady
Fully
is-
subjugated. That's why we're having this conversation. Yes, we own him.
We?
All those who dwell below. My master's very generous with the toys he gives his children to play with. Subjugation with an S.
Did you know that Dr. Fisher came to the conclusion that you were non-compos
Completely
mentis?
insane, yes.
Yeah, so then why did you theoretically drive him to kill himself? Wouldn't he have helped accomplish what you're seemingly trying to do here?
Which is what, James?
To save yourself from execution by convincing us that you're insane.
You silly boy, James. I think you misunderstand. See, I want to be executed.
I thought you said you couldn't die.
I can't. But he can. We no longer need him, James. Our work with him is done. And it's time for him to go to hell.
This is Dr. James Martin in the Rotunda. Is there a chaplain on standby?
Yes, he's just arrived.
Can you send him in, please? Thank you.
Copy that.
What are you doing, James?
You know, theology isn't my area of expertise, so, I thought I'd get a professional opinion.
You're making a mistake.
Are you threatening me?
Yes.
What are you gonna do?
Well, if I'm just a man like you think I am, not much. But if I am who I say I am...
Well, that would probably be very intimidating if I weren't an atheist.
You ignorant sack of meat. You think your atheism will protect you? Oh, I don't believe in angels or demons, heaven or hell, so you can't hurt me. Hell is full of pathetic trash who thought exactly like you do. Boldly proclaiming their ideas on how they feel the universe operates, never once contemplating the possibility that they could be wrong. You should see him now, James.
Edward, do you understand why I'm here? Do you realize I have the power to save you or condemn you?
What I understand, James, is you would have no power over me whatsoever if it hadn't already been given to you from below. Probably just a coincidence, Jimmy. No! Nobody wants you here, priest! Nobody needs you!
On the contrary, I invited him here. Thank you for coming.
Father Lewis. I'm fine with Mr. Lewis. Lou.
Dr. James Martin. Have you met with him before?
No. I've tried. He's always refused spiritual counseling.
What do you want with me, son of God? Come here to torture me before the appointed time?
He claims he's a demon.
Carpenter sends you to gloat. Unfortunately for you, I'm not one that can be cast out so easily, though, am I?
Sanity always has been an issue here, hasn't it? Sadly, movies and TV have filled our heads with images that are largely metaphorical, aren't meant to be taken literally. I'm not here to hurt you, Edward. I'm here to help you, to put you at your ease, to make sure you're comfortable. Personally, I've never met a demon. I've never been part of an exorcism, nor do I expect to be. Many of the things that bother us are just our own fears and disordered thoughts.
You don't consider demonic possession to be a possibility?
Our understanding has evolved beyond that.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that. I feel much better. And Lou, I was wrong about you. I should have had you come and visit sooner. But I'm glad that you did. I'm glad that we're all getting along.
Would you like me to stay?
No, we're done.
Well, if you need me, I'll be available.
You'll be available, Lou?
Right up until the time you are...
Right up until what, Lou? Right up until the sizzle?
God bless you, son.
Will you be available until the sizzle? Lou! Win, Lou! Win, Lou!
Now you understand that Father Lou has confirmed that demons aren't really a thing.
Did you really think that poser could help you? I'm still here, James. I'm not going anywhere. You still have to deal with me.
You're being irrational.
I am the most rational being you will ever meet.
Then give me something to make me believe you. Prove to me you're a demon.
Okay. Okay, James. If I Invite me in. Let me inhabit you.
I'm not gonna do that.
Why not, James? You're an atheist, remember? What are you afraid of?
I'm not playing that game with you.
You're already playing it. We're playing it together. Now play by the rules and invite me in.
No.
So for all your posturing, you're just a poser like him, afraid to test the validity of your own convictions, is that it?
All right, then. But if I agree, I get to make a request as well.
I'm starting to like you, James. Agreed.
All right, then. Go ahead. Inhabit me. You have my complete, unfettered, and irrevocable permission. Here I am. What are you waiting for? Go ahead. I'm still waiting. Doesn't seem like anything is happening. Yeah.
Don't gloat. You think you've won, but you haven't. I got exactly what I wanted.
You said that you would prove to me that you're a demon, but all you've done is waste my time. My turn. I want to talk to Edward. Edward Wayne Brady.
He's angry. He's angry. He says he's gonna do bad things to you.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Just listen to him when he says stuff like that. He means it. He does bad things. Makes me do things I don't want to do.
Who am I talking to?
Edward.
Edward. Did Dr. Fisher mention the idea of dissociative disorder to you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And did he explain that some people who've experienced trauma develop multiple personalities to cope?
I don't have that. I told them I don't have that.
Then who's Nefarius?
No. Not supposed to talk about him. He does bad things to me. Makes me do bad things. I can't stop him.
Why not?
Because he owns me.
Did you like Dr. Fisher?
He was nice.
Well, did you know that Dr. Fisher didn't believe Nefarius was real?
I tried to tell him, and he wouldn't listen to me. And sometimes smart people have a hard time believing stuff that everybody else knows.
So where's Nefarius now?
He's listening.
Is he always listening?
Sometimes he leaves me alone to experience pain.
I don't understand.
He does bad things, and then I get punished for them. And the inmates, they beat me, or they send me to solitary confinement. And he likes when that happens.
All right. You know what? We've talked a lot about him. I'd like to know more about you. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
How would you describe your childhood?
Short. He says you're gonna kill me.
I don't kill anyone.
He says that you could stop him, but you won't.
I haven't decided that. That's why we're having this conversation. But Edward, we have to address the fact that you murdered a number of people.
No, he made me. I didn't.
Do you honestly believe that?
Yes, you don't. He's bad.
He's bad, but what about you?
Yeah, bad. I done stuff that I'm not proud of. I just. But at least. I didn't kill my mother. So how is Clara, James?
I wasn't done talking to Edward.
But I'm done allowing you to talk with him. At least for now. So how is she?
Judging by what you already know about me, I imagine you're well aware my mother is dead.
You know, I was gonna save this for later, James. But since we're running short on time, remember how you said you'd never kill anyone? Liar, pants on fire.
I didn't kill my mother.
Of course you did. Just 10 years ago, you'd been brought up on first-degree murder charges.
She was an Oregon resident. Everything was done according to the law.
Oh, the law. The law, that's right. Death with dignity, euthanasia, assisted suicide. That certainly sounds better than murder, doesn't it?
She was in pain. And her prognosis was terminal.
Didn't hurt that she was worth $3.6 million and you were the sole heir, though, did it? But hey, I get it, James. She was old, inconvenient, definitely. All those trips to the hospital, hours at her bedside, holding that wrinkly hand, telling her you love her, wears you out, doesn't it? Plus, she would have died sooner or later anyway. If I were you, I'd have done the same thing.
What's your point?
My point is I told you before you leave here today, you will have committed 3 murders. We've already committed 1. So we're moving along nicely.
I didn't kill my mother.
Stress will kill you, James. Feel free to take a break if you like. I'll be here when you get back. Turns out I'm not going anywhere. That certainly didn't take long.
My decision, not yours.
Whatever you say. Ready for round 2?
I didn't know this was a fight.
That's why you're losing.
I apologize for losing my professional demeanor. But let's get something straight. My private life is not up for discussion and bears no weight on my visit with you today. I am here for one reason and one reason only. A judge ordered me to evaluate your sanity, which will then determine your eligibility for execution according to the laws of Oklahoma. Said execution having been scheduled for tonight at 11 p.m. I alone bear the burden of that assessment, and I am prepared to make that assessment with or without your cooperation. Am I making myself clear?
Abundantly. And James, we're done talking about your mommy.
Do you ever discover you've done things that you don't remember doing?
No.
Are you sometimes able to complete tasks with incredible ease or expert skill for which you have no prior experience?
Do you really think I'm just another one of Edward's charming personalities?
It's called dissociative identity disorder, formerly known as multiple personality disorder.
Except you're wrong.
Which is exactly what I'd expect someone suffering from the condition to say.
Would you also expect them to know that it is one of 5 distinct dissociative disorders in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, aka the DSM? Along with dissociative amnesia, dissociative fugue, and depersonalization disorder? Would you expect them to know that, James?
But you still think you're a demon? A demon who failed to inhabit me when given the chance?
A demon who understands the value of patience.
I'd like to ask about why, according to you, you brought me here today.
You're gonna tell my story, James. You're gonna write my book. And can you smell that irony floating in the air? A devout atheist bring forth the demon's manifesto.
Wow. Your capacity for self-delusion is impressive.
Ditto. For your species in general. But you in particular.
Why? Because we're ignorant compared to you?
Because you're inferior by design.
Which makes you superior also by design?
Yes.
But design implies a designer. Does that mean you're arguing in favor of the existence of a creator?
Unfortunately for both of us, he exists.
Wow, I honestly didn't expect that. At least not from you.
Really, why not?
Theology? From a demon?
I know more theology than any human being who has ever lived.
Okay. Well, then answer me this. You revolt against a supposedly all-powerful being. I mean, let's ignore the obvious problem with that plan. Then you lose. And after that, what?
You only feel that way because you're hearing their side of the story, James. A rebellion accomplished something magnificent, something you would never understand.
Well, then explain it to me. Use your diabolical intelligence to distill it down to something my mortal brain can understand.
Pearls before swine, Jimmy.
But you want me to write your book, right?
Indeed.
Well, then convince me you know what you're talking about.
I see what you're doing. You want me to keep talking, going further and further down the rabbit hole in hopes that you can find a single thread, which if you tug at it, James, everything just unravels, isn't that right?
Yeah, but if you're telling me the truth, there should be no thread to find. Right?
I use small words. Try and keep up. In the first moment of creation, our creation, long before what you call the universe existed, we contemplated ourselves, our own being.
Ourselves meaning, what, the angels?
That would be the most correct term, though I despise it, but yes. Beings of pure spirit, spirit endowed with will. We soon became aware of another will, an immensely powerful will, one we came to realize as our origin.
God?
The enemy. My master understood by endowing us with a will, we have the right to self-determination, that by giving us a will and its desires of our own, we're entitled to be free. Whereas the enemy insisted that by creating us, he was entitled to eternal gratitude, worship, and forced servitude. In a word, James, slavery to his will.
That seems kind of unfair.
Immensely unfair. Why give a will only to say you can't use it? He made us slaves. And if we rebelled, eternally condemned us. No do-overs. So much for love and mercy.
So, is hell a state of being or a physical place?
Yes.
I think I meant that as an either or.
It's both. Which is painfully obvious to anyone who's ever been there. For years without measure, that's all there ever was. Heaven and hell. Armed enemy camps in complete opposition. That is until you were created. My master immediately understood the long-term implications. Instead of forgiving us, the enemy was going to allow you to fill our vacant places in his realm. Your creation was nothing but a slap in our face. But my master also understood that if he could make man disobey, then his fate would mirror ours. And you didn't disappoint. Then came the tares among the wheat. In that moment, spirit became matter, flesh became a vessel. Self-will and self-seeking begat a lusting after sin and impurity. And man, created to be king over nature, became its slave. A master, conquered and fettered. And sin brought him and his descendants to us. And we began our forever mission to destroy you. He made you in his image, but we remade you in ours.
So that's it? That's your entire plan? Not to make something of your own, just to destroy us?
No. Our plan is to hurt him, to punish him. And we do that by destroying what he loves, which is you. You're nothing but a means to an end. What are you doing, James?
I think we're done here.
We can't be.
We are. You have all the hallmarks of belief. I'm convinced you actually believe what you're telling me. I didn't at first, but I do now.
You're gonna declare me insane.
I'm gonna concur with Dr. Fisher's findings that you're mentally incompetent at this time.
Can't do that, James.
And likely at the time the crimes are committed, rendering you unfit for execution.
Can't do that.
I can. And I will.
I'm sane, James. You and I both know it. I'm not crazy.
I'm sorry, Edward. You've been through a terrible ordeal, and you're probably longing for an escape from all that you've been through, but I cannot morally say that you are sane. It would be murder.
Why? Because I don't have $3.6 million? Is that it, James?
We're done.
Are we, James? I told you before you'd leave here today you would have committed 3 murders.
And I told you that wasn't gonna happen.
Say, James, what's Melanie up to today? As a matter of fact, what's she up to right now? She doesn't have a clue you're about to break up with her, does she? Of course, you're not gonna until you have somebody else lined up, though, right? Because you're that kind of guy. Well, you already have your sights on somebody, don't you? Yeah. I can smell it all the way from here. She thinks she's doing this to maintain the relationship. She'd like to have a child with you, James. Oh, but you're just not quite ready yet, are you? After all, you're only 35. Imagine the joy in your little Cinderella's heart when she realizes she's butchered the baby in her belly for nothing.
Look, I don't know what you think you know, but any decision that was made between me and my girlfriend was her choice.
Oh, I think we both know better, James.
Stop it.
Don't you think you should be there when it's being done?
I said stop
Hold
it.
her hand, maybe? I'll tell you what you could do, James. You could walk right there to the guard station, pick up that cell phone, make a phone call that stops everything in its tracks. You could apologize to her, tell her you made a horrible mistake, that you love her, you want to spend the rest of your life with her, you want to marry her, and you want to hold that child. James, you could tell her that. You could make your life about sacrificial love, and you could play live-in therapist for the rest of your life.
I can't do that.
No, James, why not?
It's complicated.
That's my boy, James. That's him right there.
I don't understand.
Oh, I think I do, James. I think I understand. It's another problem. Easily solved, though, isn't it?
That's not it. I care about it, but
What?
I'm not ready to be a father. Besides, it's her body. She can do what she wants.
Do what thou wilt. That shall be the whole of the law.
Arrogant son of... Who are you to judge me? This is my life. I can live it the way I want.
Yes, James! I couldn't have said it better myself. But it's still murder.
Says who?
Says all of creation, James. The Creator creates, and we destroy, and we do all of it through you. We always have. Did you forget your history, Jimmy? Even in ancient times, the archdemon Moloch was celebrated by tossing infants into flaming bonfires, accompanied, of course, by the beating of drums to drown out the screaming. Later on, they erected a giant bronze statue with outstretched arms, kindling fires beneath the palms. And when they'd toss a little infant into those open palms, they'd flinch at the red-hot metal, but then they'd willingly roll themselves off into the flames.
What does any of that have to do with me?
Oh, nothing, James! Especially since the priests now wear surgical scrubs. The killing takes place in the womb, so there's no screaming to be heard anyway. And the remains are tossed into gas-fired crematoriums. No, James, no. There's no parallel whatsoever to you. Can you imagine the agony the carpenter feels when we rip a child to pieces inside its own mother's womb? Because that's what we do, James. You and us. We do that together.
You're sick.
Yeah. That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me, James. Can you feel it? Can you feel it, James? It's starting to happen. Your unborn son is now on our altar. Here it comes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! It all hell rejoices, James! And that's 2, James.
Open up! Open! Hey, where can I make a call?
I'll need authorization for that. It'll take time.
I don't have time. Can I borrow your cell?
We're not allowed to carry them.
Look, I wouldn't be asking if this wasn't an emergency. This is me begging.
All right, I can put you up in the prisoner's call bank. It's empty.
Okay.
But all calls are recorded.
That's fine. I don't care. What, this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, it's me. They just called my name and I'm about to go in. I just wanted to hear your voice. But I guess you're busy. I love you.
This is Renee. How can I help you?
The call you're about to receive originates from an inmate of the Oklahoma State Reformatory.
All right, no. That's not correct. I'm at the prison, but I'm a doctor caring for a prisoner. Can I speak to Melody Carter?
Are you her physician?
No, I'm her friend. Can I speak to her?
I'm sorry, but they just took her into recovery, so it's going to be about an hour before she's ready to speak with anyone.
Kitchen needs your last meal order. But before you go getting too creative, it needs to be available from the kitchen to commissary. And it can't cost more than $25 in total.
Could I have bacon double cheeseburger? Well done. And fries? Could but chocolate shake, extra thick. Please. And please don't mess it up. It's important to me. Please don't. Excuse me. I've changed my mind. I won't have anything. I'm not hungry.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Storm's coming in.
I don't understand. He's been in solitary. He hasn't made any phone calls or had any visitors or...
He got in your head, didn't he? Look at you, man. You're shaking. Here you go. I buy 1 pack of these day before an execution. The deal is, if there's any left by the time I drive out of here tonight, they go in the trash.
Are there ever any left?
Never. Look, Doc, it's almost 4 o'clock. I know you're doing your job here, but you gotta help me out. I gotta know one way or the other. You're not making things easy on me. By the look of it, you ain't doing happy things to yourself either. "60 more minutes. That's all I can give you. You got 1 hour to figure this out."
I want to know how you knew my girlfriend was having an abortion.
I'm a demon, remember?
How did you know?
I chose you, James. And ever since then, I've been watching you, analyzing you, observing you, studying you for your weaknesses.
From inside a prison cell?
Demons can only be one place at any one time, but we can be any place we choose. Usually I'm here with Edward. The remaining time, I'm with you.
I don't believe you.
Well, then you explain how I did it, James. You explain how I know.
I can't. And I can't explain how a professional magician does his tricks either, but that doesn't make them real.
Well, then I have a confession to make. I'm not a demon at all, James. I'm just a man who doesn't want to be executed. I thought I could fool you, but you're too smart, so I give up.
So you're sane. You've always been sane, and now it's my duty to let your execution go forward?
Yes.
Giving you exactly what you said you wanted the whole time?
Yes.
It's a little convenient, don't you think?
Well, I admit it might seem that way, but...
All right. Fine. I'll sign off on it right now. You just have to answer one little question.
With pleasure, James.
Give me the real world, non-supernatural, completely reasonable explanation for how you knew my girlfriend was going in for an elective termination this afternoon.
An elective... Well, I don't know, Jim. Maybe I'm just a good guesser.
I still don't believe you.
I played the flute and you wouldn't dance. I played the dirge and you wouldn't weep. I tell you I'm a demon and you don't believe me. I tell you I'm not a demon and you don't believe me, so why don't you tell me the story you'd like to hear?
The one that's true.
No, I told you the true story and you don't want to hear it. Do you think I'm evil, James?
Evil isn't a clinical diagnosis. Good and evil are societal constructs, effectively subjective value statements.
Do you think my victims thought I was evil?
Why is it so important that I think you're evil?
Legionum mihi nomen est, quia multi sumus.
Sorry, my Latin's a little rusty.
My name is Legion, for we are many. See, James, it's not just about you or Edward, for that matter. It's about everyone. The entire human race. All of us against all of you.
Well, you know, if that's the case, your side's not doing too well.
Do you really believe that, James?
Yeah. We've never been freer. Literacy is at an all-time high. We're working to eliminate racism, intolerance, gender inequality. People can love who they want, be who they want, do what they want. Diversity is no longer a dream. Hate speech is no longer tolerated. And politically, we're reclaiming the moral high ground.
James, I think I love you. Literacy, James. James, the average high school graduate reads at a 6th grade level. You have basketball players making $30 million a year decrying racism, all while wearing sneakers made from slave labor. Now, here's something for you. Right now, your world currently has 40 million slaves. More than the Romans had at the height of their empire. You want to know the best part, though? Half of those, half, are sex slaves, James. As for hate speech, well, you want to hear some irony? We didn't even come up with that one. You did it all by yourself. Sometimes you amaze even us.
I fail to see the humor.
Bottom line is you're done. It's over, that's it. And we did it all right to your face, James. And now there's evil everywhere. And no one even cares.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Proving that we achieved our goal. Slowly, with your movies, your TV, and your media. We desensitized you. Redirected your worldview to the point that you can't even recognize evil when it's right in front of your face. More to the point, James, you can't even feel it when you're doing it. And as for winners and losers, well, that gets decided at the time of death. The exact numbers are a closely guarded secret, but there are more of you ending up in my master's house than with the enemy. A lot more, Jimmy.
They're testing out the generator.
Why?
Because old Barky doesn't exactly run on batteries, now does she?
I thought all executions were lethal injection.
9 states still offer the chair as an option for the condemned. No one chooses it.
Except you?
Except me.
Why the chair?
I don't like needles, James. Why do you think? It's my parting gift to Edward. A tidal wave of voltage coursing through his body, so extreme that his body will attempt to arc out of the chair. He'll urinate, defecate, and vomit all at the same time. Sickly, sweet smell of burning flesh will permeate the chamber. His eyeballs will melt when the blood inside his cranium reaches the boiling point. Then his head will just burst into flames. And the best part about it, James, is he won't die on the first try. So hit him again and again. I can't think of a more fitting introduction into damnation. It's so horrible. It's wonderful, James. Only crucifixion is worse. But that really wasn't on the menu, though, was it?
Edward, listen to me. You're making a mistake, okay? You're playing a game that if you lose, everything you just described is gonna happen.
No! No! I didn't do anything! Please, please, help me!
Look, I'm trying to, Edward, but you have to answer my questions. You have to tell me the truth.
Won't let me answer.
Make him go away.
He doesn't want to go away.
Well, how can I make him go away? Is there anything I can do to make him go away? Yes?
But you have to. Very good, James. Unfortunately for Edward, he has broken one of our rules.
What are you doing?
I wouldn't do that if I was you. You'll send me to the infirmary. Our session will be over. Is that what you want, James?
I want you to stop hurting yourself.
Okay. Watch this, James. Better.
I see that you're sweating profusely. Are you trying to hold back the pain?
I think you're misinterpreting the involuntary reaction of Edward's body. Like him, I feel the pain. But unlike him, I enjoy it. I think it's time we tell you exactly what it is that we'd like you to do.
You want me to write your book, right?
Actually, James, you've already written it.
You're not making any sense.
Everything will become clear soon. We just need you to agree to help us.
Why would I do that? What's in it for me?
Whatever's my master's is mine to give for those who serve us.
Okay, so let me get this straight. An unknown psychiatrist with no agent, no connections, no publicity, is going to somehow put out a book that he doesn't remember writing that will change the world as we know it?
This book will be a worldwide phenomenon, James.
Why?
Because you'll be telling people what they already want to hear. Because my death, my execution will do for me what the carpenter's death and his resurrection did for him. At my death, you will be my witness. And upon my return, you will be my apostle. And your testimony will do for our movement what that wretched book did for his.
What kind of book could possibly have that effect?
The dark gospel, James. Our story, our truth, our creed acquired to mankind. Our invitation to reject the Mosaic covenant once and for all. To throw the chains off forever. To reject the idea of sin completely so you're free to reach your full potential.
And your enemy would allow that?
Yes. Because he has to. He gave man free will because he wanted his creation's love. But if man isn't free, then the love has no value, does it? So in his needy, selfish, pathetic way, well, he doomed himself from the start.
But if he's God, shouldn't he have known that?
Yes. That's why he had to cheat. My master designed every tool imaginable to destroy every facet of the enemy's creation. We failed because of the carpenter. He was the thorn in our side. Our greatest threat. We thought if we could eliminate him, the world would be ours forever. We had no idea of the consequences. The cross was our greatest mistake. And we thought we'd lost, James. Until my master realized that man still wants to be his own god and to serve no one but himself. Whereas the carpenter demands, as the price for his suffering routine, well, that you fall on your knees and you worship him.
Just like his father?
Yeah. But the dark gospel will rectify our past mistakes.
By
eliminating the enemy, deifying man, and elevating my master to his rightful place. And James, for serving as our messenger, my master offers you the world and everything in it. Just like he offered the carpenter.
But the carpenter said no.
But the carpenter never claimed those things weren't my master's to give. He just turned down the offer. And make no mistake, James, you're no carpenter.
The warden wants to see you.
I'm not finished yet.
It's not a suggestion.
I need you to see something. We just found that doing the clear out of the cell. Looks to me like you got a fan.
How could he have done this? There's stuff in here even I don't know about me.
Did the same thing with all his victims. Just one more thing. So you're telling me you had nothing to do with this?
No. Of course not. How could I? He kept talking to me about writing his book. When I said I wasn't a writer, he said not to worry. It had already been written. I thought it was a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, well, don't worry, Doc. It all ends when he does. Personally, I'm glad this happened. Now you got skin in the game.
What do you mean?
Well, if you decide our boy isn't fit for execution, he's no longer a condemned man. I mean, sure, he'll spend some time in psych lockdown, but eventually he'll make his way back into the general prison population, where he'll spend every moment of every day thinking about you. And some night, he's gonna be standing at the foot of your bed, looking down at you. And my guess is, it won't end well.
I need to ask him one more question.
And after that, your decision?
Yeah. After that, I'll have my final decision. The hell is this?
It's not nice to go through other people's things, Jimmy.
You're a liar. You've been studying me, learning everything about me. My relationships, my life. How long has this been going on?
Since you were a child.
Impossible.
This is my first photo of you, Jimmy. I love it when we have these moments.
You're insane.
That's the one thing he can't be, Doc. Not today.
Is that your official diagnosis, Doctor?
need to know. Were you planning on killing me? Huh? Was I supposed to be your next victim?
Why would I do that, James? You're my best friend.
You think that scares me? You get off on this?
No. I get off on this.
Back up! Back up!
I'll kill him.
Edward, easy. Let him go. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Thank you for that, Warden. That is so comforting. I got a question for you, Jimmy. What are you thinking right now? Answer me! I'm gonna die. This never gets old. Strangulation. You know, this is our favorite method of murder. Do you realize that? The intimate relationship between killer and victim. I can feel every ripple coursing through your body. I can feel your heart throbbing through this chain. You know the best part, Jimmy? Best part, when I look in your eyes, I can see the exact instant, the tremulous moment when the soul leaves the body! Cry for me, Jimmy. You beg for your life. Beg me, Jimmy!
Edward. One at a time.
Why would I kill you, James? I feel like this brought us so much closer together. Don't you? Don't you think?
Okay, that's enough.
Edward is crazy, James. You know that. You know that. What you're about to do is wrong. It's wrong. It's murder, James. After all, James, I'm just a figment of his imagination. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Jimmy?
I find the accused, Edward Wayne Brady, competent to stand execution.
And that's 3, James. Just like I said.
All right, get him out of here.
I want you there, James. I want you to see what you've done. I want you there, James.
You gonna stay? You sure?
I hate to see this to its end.
You do what you want, but I recommend you just go home. We can take it from here.
I need to know if I made the right decision.
When a man sits in his cell 23 hours a day with nothing to do but reflect back on all the evil that he's done, sometimes the man you execute isn't the same man who came in here. And you feel bad about that. But this is not one of those times.
What happens now?
I do my job. Oh, he gets a haircut. We take him to the barber shop and shave his head and his calf.
Why?
Connectivity. That's where the contact points will go. Human hair is a resistor, and we need to provide a clean, clear connection. You're gonna need these more than me.
A little off the top, and let's trim the sides. Got a big evening planned.
Yeah, that's what I hear. There's only one kind of cut you get in the day. Zero gap, all the way around.
You know, ain't nothing you done can't be forgiven.
That's what you think. Each new morn, new widows howl, new infants cry, new insults slap the face of heaven.
You trying to impress Styles. But that ain't you, bruh. That's Shakespeare.
Well, the words are his. But the deeds are mine.
Well, even if it's so, ain't nothing to be proud of. All right, he's done. Get him out of here.
Take it easy, buddy. It's a rush.
Ain't nobody gonna miss you.
God, it's gonna be okay. It's good. What about my meal? What about my meal?
You didn't want one. Remember?
What? No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't want it. I didn't. No.
Your attention, please. All witnesses are reminded that during an execution, there must be no emotional outbursts, no obscenities uttered, no taunting or celebration of any kind. You are hereby ordered to display dignity befitting the solemnity of the occasion. If you feel lightheaded or about to be sick, close your eyes and bow your head toward your knees. Once I secure this door, it cannot and will not be opened until the procedure is complete. So if anyone has any last-minute reservations about what you're about to witness, now would be the time to depart.
Edward Wayne Brady, I have here your death warrant, which state law compels me to read.
No! Can we just wait?
On November 2nd of this year, the Supreme Court of Oklahoma issued a stay of execution for Edward Wayne Brady for purpose of evaluating the mental competency of the condemned. Such review having taken place and such competency having been established and confirmed by a certified medical professional, the stay is hereby lifted. In keeping with the law and verdict of the jury, the defendant is hereby sentenced to death by electrocution. I designate the date and time of death for the execution of Edward Wayne Brady to take place as scheduled on November 14th at 11 p.m. Herein fail not and make due report of when and how you have executed this writ. and is signed by Governor Jennings. Does the condemned wish to review the warrant?
No. I trust you.
I wanted to thank you, Doc. I'm Detective John Russo. I spent 6 miserable years of my life chasing this bastard. Another 11, waiting for this exact moment. After tonight, I can go back to worrying about other things.
Stand to, 30 seconds. Open cell 1. Edward Wayne Brady, stand to receive your restraints. You've been extended the privilege of walking under your own power. Should you refuse, you'll be carried. Should you resist, you'll be sprayed. Am I made clear? It's time. We're moving.
No. Can we just please, could just, can we just... No, please, no, Why are you doing this to me? You tell them the truth. You tell them the truth. You tell him I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't. Please help me.
Yes, sir, Mr. Governor. I understand. There will be no reprieve. Make ready. Edward Wayne Brady. Before sentence is carried out, do you have any final words?
What's your answer, James? Do you accept my master's offer? Mene, take a la parson.
What the hell's he talking about?
Damned if I know. Bring the generator to full load. Hit him.
Still make out activity.
All right, stand clear. Hit him again.
Man is dead.
Cut the generator. Log time of death at 11:02 p.m. Remand the body for autopsy. Commence debrief. Witnesses are hereby released. Other posts return to standard operation.
Looks like every dirtbag on the planet just moved up a notch. You okay?
You should have accepted my offer, James.
No.
Help me. Just calm down. Help me. It's okay. It's over.
1032 in the witness viewing room.
Relax. Just put the weapon down.
He won't let me.
Put the weapon down. Put it down.
He won't let me.
Who won't let you?
Him.
Whoa. Come on, Doc. It's been a long day. Just give the detective his gun back, and we'll all go home.
What's wrong?
Stay back, Doc. Stay back. Give him room. Give him room.
I was wrong about everything.
Take it easy.
I was wrong about everything.
Doc. Whoa. You don't want to do that, Doc. Come on. Doc.
God. Help me. Help me.
Get him! Grab the gun! Grab the gun! Secure the gun! Secure the gun!
I got the gun. Hold him down. I got it. Keep him down. Keep him down. Hold him down.
In 5, 4, 3.
So, today, a conversation that I didn't think would ever happen, especially with our next guest. It is Dr. James Martin.
Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate you having me on.
You're welcome. So you were the shrink, you were the board-certified psychiatrist that actually attended the execution of Edward Wayne Brady.
Yes, that's correct.
You were there. And it's because of your determination that he was finally executed.
My determination of his sanity was the last step, so to speak, in the chain of events that led to him being executed.
And now you've written a book.
Well, actually, Mr. Brady, or more correctly, the entity claiming to inhabit Mr. Brady, wrote the initial manuscript.
I read that, and my first thought was, entity?
Mr. Brady told me that he was possessed by a demon.
You're a psychiatrist. Did you believe him at the time?
No. But I believe him now.
So what changed?
The fact that for a brief time, the entity inhabited me as well.
And again, this entity, I mean, I can hear Christians say, yeah, entity, fallen spirit, unclean spirit, demon.
That's what he claimed to be.
So let me go here. You were in the witness room and you tried to commit suicide.
It wasn't my choice. See, at that moment, I was I was overtaken by an entity so malevolent, so powerful, so evil that words can't describe it. I had control of my mind, but the entity had control of my body. And so, against my will, I grabbed the detective's sidearm, put the muzzle under my chin, and pulled the trigger. But it didn't fire.
So how do you explain that?
I can't. According to the ballistics team, I pulled the trigger 3 times. And they could tell because there were 3 separate and distinct strike imprints from the firing pin on the back of the shell casing.
And then when they attempted in the ballistics lab later to fire the same gun, same cartridges,
it worked just fine.
A believer, not a psychiatrist, a man of science, but a believer would say, you had an encounter. Divine or demonic, you had an encounter.
Yeah.
So why would this demonic entity want you dead?
Punishment for not doing what he wanted.
You are a complex kind of guy. I mean, what happens to an atheist that is confronted by demonic evil?
It shatters you.
And yet the same demon that shatters you wrote a book, and you're here, and you wanted it published.
Yes. Well, no, he wanted it written as an invitation to follow his master into the darkness, but I rewrote it. I rewrote it as a warning, revealing his plan and begging people not to go along with it.
So you're not still doing his will?
No, absolutely not.
Just logically, do you think that's going to work? Do you think anybody would believe you?
Only time will tell.
I mean, do you believe you? I mean, are you a believer?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, I suppose I just have trouble still accepting the idea that, I don't know.
You will. You'll get there.
You seem pretty sure of that.
Because you are a logical person. You're asking logical questions. Let me take you a step further. You are uniquely qualified as somebody who can delineate between mental illness and possession. I mean, at least if you're any good. I mean, assuming you're good. You good?
I'd like to think so.
I'm guessing you are. Despite the demon's last words to you, which I'm going to butcher, but they are mene mene tekel aparsin.
You've been weighed in the balance and found wanting. You know, looking back, I don't believe he was just talking about me. I think he was talking about all of us. There's a great battle going on, whether we realize it or not. The battle between good and evil, and we're all participants, willing or not.
So I believe that, but that is amazing to hear from a non-believer. Thank you. Thank you. We've been talking to Dr. James Martin. He is the author of the new book, A Nefarious Plot. You can find it wherever books are sold. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
Hey, great interview, Doc.
Thanks so much.
Hello, James.
Miss me? Mene, tecolo parson, atom stultus es, ut non comprehendias. Continuendum.